Hey, Liminal Dad here. I made a video, a long one, where I was talking about kind of giving a review of the new Backrooms movie. And I just wanted to do I guess, a follow-up video where I kind of delve more into things or kind of maybe try to be more concise about the things I didn't like about it. Because I didn't like it. I didn't like the new movie. So, I mean, let's get right into it. Why I didn't like it. First of all, I should say I'm a huge Backrooms fan. I've enjoyed all of Kane Parsons' videos. Well, what I like about him is that I feel like he caters to a wide range of interests. He's very detail oriented, and so people who enjoy that aspect are just all about the Easter eggs and the details, and zooming in on dates on flyers on a bulletin board in the background, and putting stuff together in that way. But he's also good about the visceral experience. Which I think that there's basically the Backrooms kind of interest falls into two categories: visceral experience and cerebral experience. I'm more interested in the visceral experience personally, although I have enjoyed the way that Kane has handled the cerebral experience. And has kind of outlined details in his videos. I don't really get into going too far into that because it's just, I mean, to me, it's kind of pointless. I mean, that's not, I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, and I personally was looking for the Backrooms at that time. My sister had some medical stuff going on at the time, and we were always going to these doctor's appointments, allergist appointments, and I was wandering while my mom was with the doctor. I would, wander out of the office, and it was in these medical plazas in Dallas, North Dallas, and I'd just wander around and go up the elevators and the stairway and try to find. I'd always find like one of the floors was unoccupied. It was like partially furnished or basically furnished. Just like you see in the back rooms. And I loved it. I just loved that it was staged for life, but there was no life there. It just made me feel so comfortable and at home and at peace, and I loved it as a kid. And I just thought to myself, like, I wish that I could get lost in a endless maze of these kind of office spaces. So when the Backrooms came along, and now it's like I can just go on YouTube and watch all these endless videos of this stuff going on. It's just I mean, really a dream come true for me. I'm a big Backrooms fan. I know about that. There's the two camps. There's like the wiki lore and the Kane interpretation, and people think that the purists and this and that. I don't like to get involved in that kind of stuff. I mean, I just don't. I can appreciate both, but I lean more toward the visceral experience of just like, you've gone to the back rooms and you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't care about what some scientist did in 1972. You don't care about just like the dates of how things played out in the late 80s into the early 90s into the late 90s. It doesn't matter, when you don't, like in the case of as if it was real, where you trip into the back rooms and you're just thinking like, what the fuck is going on? What I mean, would knowing all that stuff, all the lore and everything, be helpful to you if you knew it in advance and tripped, no clipped? I hate the word no clip. I hate all the, I hate the jargon, you know, all this, the jargon that goes with it. I mean, it's just like catchphrase bullshit, but whatever. I'm saying the word trip. So, I mean, you know, that was, you know, I mean, when did that come to play? Like the late 60s and early 70s. I mean, I guess I'm just using a different version of a catchphrase to describe it instead of no clipping. Sorry. Anyway, I think that I value the visceral experience of the Backrooms more than the cerebral experience of analyzing and stuff. Because it's just because, you know, you're like, I'm up above and just, I can, you know, I'm just seeing these stories and I'm just, you know, but I see it's a different approach, you know. I mean, some people want that. I just don't. I don't like. I don't really care about it. I can follow it. I understand it. You know. But it just doesn't have value to me. But I can get into a good story. All right, I've gone too long already. All right, so I've got a few notes. I'm actually taking a beer. I shouldn't have done that because I don't do well when I'm a little inebriated. But so I thought maybe I should write a few notes, you know, about things. So didn't like it. Yeah. Oh, okay. So here's one thing that I wanted to address that I didn't really say in my other video, that, you know, I saw that people were saying in the comments. I didn't really delve too far into investigating like why they were saying it or and getting into that. I just saw that people were saying Kane didn't direct it. You know, that he didn't direct it. And what I imagine that they're saying that, the reason that they're saying that is because as if it was like, oh, this is so good. There's no way that a 20-year-old or 19-year-old wrote and directed this. There's no way. I mean, it's just too good. Well, after seeing it, what I have to say is I hope he didn't direct it, and I don't think he directed it because it's so bad. And it doesn't, it seriously lacks the integrity of his other work. I mean, I hope that it comes out that he didn't direct it and he was kind of like just forced by Hollywood to, you know, it's like, hey, you know what, it's gonna be based on your thing. We're gonna, you know, but you're young. We recognize that this is a marketing angle. We need to put you as the face, the figurehead of this project, because that's what's going to get this younger audience into and buying the theaters and buying tickets. So just get on board, and of course, you know, he'd be like, well, this is going to allow me to do whatever the hell I want to do in my life. So I can take this bullet, you know, I can take this sacrifice. This is what I want to hear that happen. God, I mean, this is my last holdout of hope for him, because I mean, you know, if this was for real, I mean, I feel like I've lost a little respect. And hearing, I watched an interview today of him, and he was saying, you know, that the things that he, you know, the direction that he went and the things that he revealed in the movie were things that he was actually thinking about in 2022. I mean, then you have to throw the age thing in there as well. I mean, he was very young at the time. I mean, he's 20 years old now. His brain is still technically developing. So, I guess you have to consider that. And, you know, just remembering how dumb I was at whenever 16, however old he was in, 2022, I guess he would have been 16. You know, maybe that was the best he did. You know, fortunately, if that's the case, at least he made the choice to be mysterious up until this point, because the mysteriousness and the leaving it to the imagination, the making it, the guessing games and everything worked in his favor to just kind of create a mystique that makes that for, at least for me, got me hooked and but yeah, seeing the things that he revealed in this movie, I mean, are just so incredibly, to me, so incredibly cheesy and cringy, and just like a thing where, like if you've ever had somebody or you've seen a show or something where somebody's like putting someone on a pedestal and they just create this whole narrative of like what this person is. Maybe it's a guy envisioning like how he imagines a girl is, and like he's like she must be this and that. He's got this whole thing like expectations, like this has got to be how she is because this is how I see her. And then something happens, and the person opens their mouth and starts talking, and they and and it's like, oh, oh, okay. I mean, it just like destroys the narrative, the mystery, so I mean, this is kind of what has happened with me watching the Backrooms movie. All right, yeah. So he didn't direct it. I've just got bullet points here. I'm just like he's talking about his work, which I've done. The comments section. Yeah, I guess because people are talking about him. Found footage 3. I mean, found footage 3 is just so good. The Kane Pixels or Parsons found footage 3. I remember when he uploaded it and I saw it like 45 minutes. Wow, this is what a treat, And so I watched it and it was just riveting from beginning to end. I mean, it was just the integrity, the quality, the aesthetics. I mean, just so good. If that is what should have been released. I mean, I know that Hollywood would never have done that. It's too risky, to their fault. They I think that Hollywood underestimates the audience. That an audience could handle found footage 3. I know that they would look at it and think, oh, I don't know, this is I don't think so. I mean, we got to send it through our filter. But if he just added like 30 minutes to found footage 3 at least, make it an hour and 15-minute movie and just release that, I mean, that would be incredible. And honestly, I think that people could handle it. I think that they could handle something like that just there's too much spelling out of things in the movie. A lot of mystery is just destroyed. And it's sad. I think that, there's something about movies. There's been plenty of movies. I mean, there's been plenty of movies, the blockbusters that just kind of drop you into the action. And throughout the movie, you kind of get bits and pieces and piece together what the backstory is. That's not a new concept. I mean, it's happened so many times. And I think that, that could have happened in, like found footage 3, toward the end, when the main character is, kind of turning the camera on himself in the red room and, giving kind of an aside or monologue or whatever, just talking about stuff. I mean, there could have been stuff like that, just, like kind of breakout or periods, where they just, if a story is needing, some kind of a backstory is needing to be told, that could have been done in that way, if or not. So yeah, I mean, the stark difference in quality between found footage 3 and the movie is just huge. It's huge. I mean, anybody who doesn't think that has got the darkest pink rose-colored glasses on. The darkest rose. Yeah, the darkest rose-colored glasses. Found footage 3 development. Oh yeah, camera lens. Okay, yeah, the camera lens, and that in the movie. I saw an interview that Kane was doing where he said that they were debating on how to have the movie look, have the camera work look, and the film aesthetic. And they were thinking about like basing it on the original, 2003 Backrooms picture in 4chan. But then they decided, well, let's go with the wide angle lens. He said because it looked better. No, it's I didn't. I think I'm gonna jump. Actually, I might be jumping ahead, but the camera angle. I mean, throughout the entire movie, my disbelief was never suspended. I mean, I do love when Backrooms videos get a little out there, when they get out there, but I also love when it's just like, you can tell it's just some kid, and like the lighting looks blown out, it's just some basic thing where they're just kind of like running through the maze, and and there's just something about whenever it's like it doesn't look great, but they just did a good job of outlining the space and creating the atmosphere, even if the aesthetic is not nailed. I really appreciate that. And I think that the camera work and the cinematography in the Backrooms movie was just too, it's like you doing it because the budget was there, and that it could be done, and that those things were at their disposal to use. I was just commenting about this, and it was a music related thing, that the hard thing to do is to have an eagle eye view and some experience, and just know, like, you know what, we may have all this technology, that we may have all these budget and devices at our disposal, but we can't use them because it's not the right thing. It's not going to age well. The real set, I thought, was bad. I didn't think it was interesting. Maybe it would have been more interesting if they'd used like an actual video camera or something and done it in that way. But it just didn't look. It looked, to me, it just didn't. I didn't believe it. I just didn't believe it. I might have more to say about that later. Let's see what else I wrote. Okay. So here's another thing: the Freak Show family dinner. Oh man, the Freak Show family dinner. That what a stereotypical thing to do in a horror movie. I was talking with a friend at work about that, and we were kind of coming up with, just like quickly, just like trying to name different movies that have had the Freak Show family dinner. Like The Hills Have Eyes, and I think Nothing But Trouble, and what else? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what jumped out to me at first, was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was just like, Silence of the Lambs, even if it's just two people, it's just, there's always that, that thing, and then there has to be, and there's got to be like, and also, another thing that really sucks that they did is, inserting the dwarf cutesy monster character, the lamp guy. Oh, we love the lamp guy. I mean, that is so fucking dumb. It's like the token dwarf of the movie, or whether it's R2D2 or whatever. I mean, there's always like some need to put those kind of characters, some kind of like, baby monster. I mean, it's just such a thing. I'm not going to say, okay, well, I will use the word only to, speak poorly about it. Trope. I fucking hate the word trope. I only use the word trope to talk poorly about the word trope. God, but yeah, I mean, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, Freak Show Family Dinner. What else do I have to say about that? It's like, doing that in a horror movie is the same as like the thing in Hollywood where it's like, what is there? Is there some anxiety that you cannot have somebody walk up to a microphone without it feeding back? Like somebody, there's a crowd of people and somebody walks up to the microphone. Ooh, ooh, and then all of a sudden it's gone. I mean, I guess, they have a sound guy, but it's just like, two feedbacks and then it's gone and then they just continue. But there has to be the feedback, the man, I mean, you want to be experimental? Have a movie where somebody walks up to a microphone and they just start speaking and there's no feedback. That's taking a chance. It's sad that would be taking a chance in a movie. It's almost like a superstition, I mean, do they think if they don't do that, the movie's not going to make, it's not going to clear the budget? Let's see, watching reviews about it. Oh, watching reviews about the back. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, what else? I feel like I've gotten too quickly off the Freak Show Family Dinner. Yeah, Freak Show Family Dinner. The lamp guy. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it's like the little dwarf character that's just like, turn off like, I mean, there's always like, whether it's a Jawa or an Ewok or a Gizmo or a Gremlin or gotta have a preciously cutesy monster, that does something, that's like the mascot of the movie, the kind of underlying mascot of the movie. So dumb. What else? Oh yeah, and the best part is you can eat them. That's so good. That's so good. Thank you for doing that. That was a good one. That was a good one. You know what? There was some stuff in the am I gonna get to? You know what? I almost thinking that like making notes is what was. Oh yeah, I do get to that. It's like having notes is seeming to trip me up more than help me out. Okay. I might have to come back to some things. I wrote elderly humor. Yeah. That just seems like doing that kind of a thing, like in the Freak Show family dinner, it just seems like an elderly humor angle. Like like baby boomers, they're like, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. I mean, it's like that level to me. I mean, you've got somebody. I mean, is that what this whatever generation? What is he? What is Kane? Would he be Gen Z or something? Is that where they're headed toward? Being the new baby boomers? Oh man. Story problems. Two competing stories. Yeah, two competing stories. That's yeah. It seemed like there's just two competing stories happening. The human relationship struggle of involving the Clark and the therapist and her backstory is one thing, and then the Backrooms, which is the visceral experience, just butting heads. I mean, I just feel like it was just butting heads. Now I understand that Kane Parsons used the Backrooms to help tell and give a metaphor for the real world thing, but I mean, this is the things going on with Clark and the therapist. I was just thinking, like when I was seeing the first part of the movie, I was just thinking, this could be just a real world drama, just like it's not a crazy new concept. I mean, but it would make a great, just solid, real world drama having to do with what Clark's backstory is and what the therapist's backstory is. And, I wrote something here as called Producer's Mind. Hey, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not a legendary producer. I'm just saying I recognize myself that I have a producer's type mind. Let's just say it's a bad one, but I'm on that spectrum. But one thing that struck me is about doing, honoring the story, as if the story comes from the universe and the person, whether it's a song, maybe it's a song, an musical artist, maybe it's a story coming into an author or writer. And then, they can do a couple different things with that. They can honor the story universally, or they can try hard to put it through a cerebral filter that doesn't necessarily, it still tells the story technically, but doesn't honor it universally. And so I think that's what happened in the movie. Maybe you hear, like, I'm just imagining, like, you hear some kind of some song, and it's maybe electronic based, and it's got all these textures and layers, and sound design is off the charts. There's crazy sounds happening, all this, but you just listen to it and you're like, man, it seems like this is just, it could be much simpler than it is, and maybe you hear like an acoustic guitar cover of that song. You're like, that's what the song should have been. It's just boiled down to it's an acoustic guitar song that somebody's trying to make a bigger production of. No, I am not saying that it's just all about simplifying. I think that there are things I've seen that are just, I'm like, whoa, that is way too simple. This thing needs to be more complex. Things to be built up. It needs layers. It needs other things happening. I think that it goes both ways, and both, if done purely in the universal sense, honor the story. They honor the song. I don't think that Kane honored the story of, it's a basic story of you know, what's going on with Clark and the therapist. That could have been a real life drama that was great. You know, I mean, maybe it wouldn't kill at the box office. Maybe it would just been like a normal movie, but it would have done. I think it would have done great, and I mean, he would have been solid with that. On the other hand, you have the Backrooms, which, you know, it actually kind of confuses this, you know, human thing. You know, it's like trying too hard to make this abstract thing, you know, relate to the, you know, and show metaphor and, you know, let's see. Yeah, okay, I hit all the notes that I wanted to on that page. What do I have next here? Oh yeah, so the Freak Show family drama, there's some great dialogue in there, which, you know, that's what I liked about that is, you know, when she starts screaming at Clark and, but the challenge, I feel like the challenge would have been to just put that into a real world setting and not have to make it supernatural, you know. Let's see. Find a real world way to do it. It wouldn't have been unique, but it would have been good to do a real world story. Yeah. So the Backrooms and the real world thing coming together, I feel like they're just canceling each other out, and it's just not great. Okay, what's next here? The embarrassing monster reveals. Oh boy, I tell you what, that was a real disappointment to me, and to hear that's what Kane was envisioning in 2022 when he started. Man, like again, I'll say I'm glad that he didn't reveal that back then. I don't like that idea of the Backrooms trying to copy, you know, incorrectly copying people and things. I mean, to a certain degree, I feel like maybe that it works. I mean, I like it to a certain degree, but it just got a little too on the nose, you know, a little too embarrassingly familiar. You know, it's too familiar, in a way that's just like kind of disgusting and makes me question. You know, like you know, I thought like this whole time I've been seeing Kane stuff. I felt a little jealous. You know, like, man, I wish I was that on the ball when I was his age. And I mean, you know, he is on the ball. He is on the ball, but it's you know, it took him off, you know, way off the pedestal. If I had him on a pedestal, he's off it now, based on that alone. What the monsters are. I mean, it's like, please, you know, please, you should have kept it more of a mystery. I mean, at least, you know, I mean, if it, God, you know, at least have not told us what the entities were in this movie. You know, kept it a mystery until the second one. You know, I kept me in a oblivious state. You know. Yeah, the real life copy angle sucks. Yeah. Oh, Peele. Yeah. I mean, Jordan Peele in what's the movie Us? Yeah. I mean, if you're just I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but if you want to talk about a flip side doppelganger thing, I mean, Us is just so much. The movie Jordan Peele movie Us is just so much better about, you know, that kind of doing that somewhat kind of angle. Yeah, hope it comes out that he didn't direct it. I really do. He's a figurehead because it excuses the problems. Yeah, I mean, just hearing that he didn't do this movie, and I mean, or that he was just kind of the spokesperson, and gave some input, but didn't. God, I really hope it comes out that that's the case, because man, if he's the one carrying the Backrooms baton, running with it toward the finish line, I mean, that's a disappointment. Rather have somebody else do that. There's lots of better, YouTubers doing Backrooms content at this point. Let's see. Oh, the wandering doesn't translate. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about the Backrooms, is just not there. I didn't feel like that. I mean, there's a lot of backroom scenes, but I feel like the Backrooms wasn't in it. I mean, like, at the same time, I feel like, what it is that I like about Backrooms movies didn't happen. It was just really skipped over. Oh, yeah, and then the thing of, like, the tall tale of people getting lost on set. I mean, I've seen that, like, oh, yeah, people, it's 30,000 square feet. People have actually been getting lost. I mean, I feel like that's just just a stupid lie. I mean, I feel like, it just has that ring to it that, like, somebody's like, oh, is it this way? No, it's this way. Well, you know what? We should say that we got lost. We should tell everybody that this is so complex that we got lost in where we were going. And then, oh, you know what? Let's use that and talk about that in interviews, and let's use that as a little media bite to help sell the movie. It probably didn't happen. Nobody actually probably got lost. I mean, the set didn't look that, I mean, I didn't get the feeling of any 30,000 square feet whatsoever from the movie. All right. Yeah, I feel like I didn't see the Backrooms. It's like I saw it, but I didn't see it. Did you feel that way? Yeah. The human in the Backrooms stories were not honored. And I already said the thing about the found footage 3, add 30 minutes to it, release it in the theaters. I mean, you want to talk about no cost in making millions. I feel like people can handle it. Oh, the expectations I had. I don't feel like I unduly had unrealistic expectations, or had like emotional expectations about the Backrooms. The way Kane operated in his videos, I just thought it was going to be a technical grand slam, a TKO, that in boxing terms, that it's just kind of like a by numbers thing. It's a by numbers thing where, but not in a bad way. Just like he's so thoughtful of all the stuff, that there's no way that this could be a bad movie. And that was surprising to me. That was what was surprising, that it was bad. It's not that I went in with high expectations or low expectations. My expectation was like, hey, this guy is just doing the math and it's going to be good. And it just, was a nasty fart. I mean, a nasty fart is even more interesting than the Backrooms movie was. Oh, yeah. Yeah, wimpy result. Gushing YouTubers are stuck. Yeah. Like, I've watched some things like Red and Brugly and all this stuff. I mean, they, I guess you just get to a certain point. I mean, maybe they really liked it. I mean, I'm so surprised, because again, Red, she's so technically minded and such a nerd about this stuff. I would have thought that I mean, it almost has this like, again, like a baby boomer thing of in denial, I'm thinking about like my mom, like, everything's good. Oh, yes. Well, everything's delightful. You know, like everything's just burning in the background. Like, oh, well, everything is going so well, isn't it? Yes. The denial of us baby boomers is just, you know, I mean, this is, you know, watching these gushing YouTubers about the movie. I mean, they have so many viewers and they want to be so far up Kane's ass that, I mean, it's like they have to just do that at a certain point. It's like bureaucratic stuff. I mean, which maybe it's not. Maybe they really liked it. That sucks. It was a surprising flop. I don't know what the fuck I wrote there. I'm done. I'm through my notes. I hope this was halfway entertaining for you. Yeah, I look forward to seeing. I hope Kane goes back to YouTube and does what he does best there, which is create good content, building a mystery, as Sarah McLachlan would say. He did not build him. He destroyed a mystery in his movie. Man, he destroyed a mystery in that Backrooms Movie. Wow, Captain Clark. This, I mean, it was all just so bad. Oh, and yeah, okay, so Mark Duplass. Oh my God. That was such an embarrassing role. I mean, what a, just a, like, I mean, I've never seen him in a movie where he's just like a popular face. You know, like, hey, I'm Mark Duplass. Let me make my cameo because I support this. And his last, his little monologue at the end when he's, you know, interviewing the therapist. Not early 90s scientist whatsoever. I mean, that's like a touchy-feely modern scientist maybe, but yeah, I mean, it just, that didn't make sense at all. It would have been better if they just had some other guy or person doing that role. That didn't sell or enhance anything. He made it worse. This is like one of his worst things. That's the worst thing I've ever seen him in. I like him. Everything I've seen him in, I love. I didn't like him in that. I mean, it's like him doing a Geico commercial or something. What else? Maybe I can think of one other thing to say. Let's see. Yeah. Cinematography, bad choice. Should have gone the extra trouble. He should have just fucking done it all in Blender. Just added 30 minutes to Found Footage 3, uploaded it, said, fuck you, just do it. People are going to like it. And they would have, I think. But they weren't going to do that. But you get that many people involved and, you know, it just gets stupid. So, I don't know. Man. It's, if this is truly, I would love to hear that this is somebody else's baby. Well, not baby, but somebody else's writing. That it's just spoiled milk. If this turns out to be actually Kane Parsons, and he just like took off his dress and he looks disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, that's it. Next time.